and thank you so much for tuning into our June virtual snack class. My name is Barbara and I'm the dietitian at the ShopRite of Emerson. So, in this video, since it's June and it's getting really hot out, I thought it would be fun to do two really refreshing recipes. So we are going to be making a sparkling strawberry lemonade and some frozen yogurt fruit pops. Let's get started on the strawberry lemonade. So first I'm going to go over everything that you're going to need for this recipe. You're going to need about 12 ounces of seltzer. Any brand will do. I'm just using Spindrift. You are going to need about 1 lemon. You're going to need a 1/4 cup of strawberries, a tablespoon of honey, and if you'd like, some ice. And you're also going to need a tall serving glass. So, first thing you are going to do is take your strawberries, make sure they're nice and washed, and we are going to take our butter knife and our cutting board and slice off the tops of the strawberries. Get as close to the top as you can, just so we don't get too much fruit wasted. And do that with all of your strawberries. For me, I have about 4 small strawberries. Perfect. Now that all of our strawberry tops are sliced off, we're just gonna casually slice up these strawberries. There's really no rhyme or reason to it, just so they're slightly smaller chunks. That way they'll be easier to squish later with our fork. The smaller you get the chunks, the easier it should be to crush the strawberries later. But as you can see, I'm not really cutting it in any specific way, just making each piece a little bit smaller. They're gonna get squished, so it doesn't matter what they look like. And let me just show you. That's about how small I'm gonna cut them. And you are going to add your sliced strawberries right to your serving glass. Perfect. Great. The next thing that you are going to want to do is add your tablespoon of honey to this cup. Perfect. This is going to give our sparkling lemonade some natural sweetness. And the next thing you're going to do is take your fork and start crushing the strawberries as best you can. It might be a little difficult, so it might help if you have an adult help you with this part. But just do the best you can squishing the strawberries. You want to get them to start releasing their juices. Squish, squish, squish. It really helps if you press the strawberries against the glass. What I'm doing is just squishing the strawberry like that right against the glass. And that's gonna help get it to release its juices. If you need to, stab it around a little bit. It might be a little bit difficult, but it's gonna be worth it, I promise. You don't have to squish it up too much, basically. You just want to get them to release their juice. So if it's still chunky, that's totally fine. The honey is also going to help the strawberries release their juice because the sugar is going to draw out the juice from the strawberries. Okay. So that's about what mine look like. You can see they're still chunky, but you can see that the liquid is all in the bottom of the glass. That's exactly what we want. Okay, the next step that we are gonna do is take our lemon, make sure it's nice and washed, and we are gonna give it a good roll. When you press it against the counter like this and roll it out, it helps make juicing it a lot easier. Perfect. Sorry, my cutting board's moving around a little bit, but just give it a good roll with the heel of your hand. Just like that. You're not trying to squish it, but a nice firm roll. And the next thing we're gonna do is take our butter knife again and cut it right in half. Perfect. The next thing you're gonna do, take your fork and stick it inside your lemon, and you're gonna start squeezing the juice right into the glass. If you get some seeds in there, don't worry, we're gonna fish them out with our fork in a little bit. Or if you have a tiny strainer, you can put the tiny strainer on the top of the glass, just so you don't have to do that fishing step. So give it a good squeeze. There's one half, and now I'm gonna grab the other half and do the same thing. Fork into the lemon and squeeze. Helps if you wiggle the fork too. Perfect. Great. And now that all of our lemon juice is in our glass, I'm gonna take my fork and just pick out any of the seeds I find. Just because I don't have a strainer small enough for this glass. If you do, that's totally fine. You want to make sure you get all the seeds out just because we don't want any choking hazards. Perfect. I have one more and then I'm done. And get rid of the seeds. Perfect. So now we have our lemon juice, macerated strawberries, and honey in this glass. The last step that we are going to do is take out our seltzer and top off this glass. Or if your seltzer is not cold, you can add a little bit of ice first. So I'm going to add 2 ice cubes, and then I'm going to top off the drink. Perfect, and then just take your fork and give it a nice little stir, just to make sure all the strawberry juice, lemon juice, and honey is evenly distributed throughout the drink. I'm gonna pour a little bit more. Perfect, and just like that, we have our sparkling strawberry lemonade. And now you can sip on this while we work on the next snack. The next thing we are going to work on is our frozen yogurt fruit pops. So first things first, once again, we're going to go over all the ingredients that you need for this recipe. You are going to need about 1 cup of fruit. You can choose what fruit you want to use. Strawberries and bananas work best for this recipe. I don't have any bananas, so I'm going to be using about 8 large strawberries. Since we're going to be making 8 popsicles, you're going to need 8 chunks of fruit. You are going to need about ½ a cup of vanilla Greek yogurt. I'm just using Chobani. Sorry, it's really bright, so it's not going to focus. You are going to need another tablespoon of honey. And then you're going to need whatever toppings that you would like to add. I have some sprinkles and mini chocolate chips here. So, let's get started. First things first, open up your yogurt. And we are going to add our 1 tablespoon of honey to our yogurt. You can put this in a mixing bowl. I'm just gonna mix it right in this little cup, just because since yogurt has plenty of room, oh wow, that's really bright. Since yogurt has plenty of room in the cup, I'm just gonna add it right to here. Add your 1 tablespoon of honey. And take a spoon and give it a good mix. You want to mix it until the honey is not making any more streaks. And if I'm going a little fast, please feel free to pause the video and catch up. Okay. Perfect. I would try to show the camera, but it doesn't seem it wants to pick up any white colors today. Next things next, we are going to take our washed fruit. If you're using strawberries like I am, you are going to cut off the stems again. Try to get as close to the green as possible to try and save as much of the fruit as you can. And that's all you're gonna do, just cut off the stems. If you're using things like bananas, what you would do is peel it and cut it into about 2-inch chunks. You can also do this with kiwis and whatnot. Perfect. And go through until all your fruit is cut up into about 2-inch chunks. You're going to want about 8 pieces of fruit. This is a really refreshing and healthy summer treat. Perfect. So now I have all 8 of my strawberries with their stems removed. And the next thing we're gonna do is take out our 8 popsicle sticks that should be written on the equipment list of your recipe sheets. And we are going to take the popsicle stick and stick it right into the fruit. Just like that. So you don't want to go all the way through that you poke through the tip. You want to basically make it look like a lollipop. And it's also good to make sure that you have a tray lined with parchment paper set aside for this next step. I'm gonna just make some room here. Okay. So once you skewer your fruit, once again making sure not to go all the way through so that way it stays on the stick, you are gonna dip it right into your yogurt mixture. If you need help, use your spoon to coat it. My strawberries are kind of sliding off, so I'm gonna use my spoon to just coat the strawberry. It doesn't have to be perfect, just mostly covered. There we go, lovely, look at that. So you can see my strawberry is completely covered in yogurt. And you are gonna set that onto your parchment paper. Let me just show you, just like that, right on its side. Oh, sorry, someone's calling. I'm just gonna ignore that. And continue this step with all of your strawberries. Once again, not poking all the way through, and dipping it right into the yogurt, and using your spoon to help you out. Okay. Sorry, they'll hang up soon. Just like that, and place it right on the parchment paper. And do this with all your strawberries, or bananas, or whatever else you're using. Okay, so now I have 3 done. Okay. Basically, this is gonna make a really nice frozen treat. It's basically like a healthier ice cream. Just like that, and keep going until all your fruit is covered. Okay. I found that it's been really helpful to fill the spoon and dip the fruit into the spoon. That way the fruit doesn't slide off of your popsicle stick. I'm just going to show you how I've been skewering the strawberries with my popsicle stick. Ooh, just like that. Okay. If you go all the way through, it's okay. I just went all the way through on that one. And it doesn't seem to really be sliding off as long as I'm really careful with it. Just 2 more. And if you think you're gonna have extra yogurt left over, that's totally okay. Then it's just another healthy snack. You don't want to coat the strawberries too much that they're dripping, but just enough to really cover the fruit. Great. That's my last one. So now you can see all of my strawberries are covered in the yogurt. The very last step before these go in the freezer is to take your toppings, whatever you'd like. I'm going to be using chocolate chips and sprinkles, and just lightly sprinkle them onto the fruit. This is gonna make them more of a fun dessert. You can use chocolate chips, sprinkles, coconut flakes, granola, really whatever you like. Perfect. How quick and easy was that? Look at that. Now we have our frozen yogurt fruit pops all set here. The last step is to take these and put them into the freezer for at least 2 hours or until solid. And then you will have a treat like this. This is one I froze right before class. You can see it's not falling off. It's a lovely little healthy popsicle stick. Isn't that cute? Well, I hope you enjoyed these 2 summer recipes. I hope they help you beat the summer heat. And thank you so much for watching. Bye.